You're welcome back. The big story, the breaking story that we're following right now is that Judge Thokozile Masipa has ruled that Oscar Pistorius will spend the next 5 years in jail. The ruling was delivered today in South Africa after many months of anticipation and, of course, a lot of expectations. The Defense Counsel had actually requested that Pistorius is given a 10-year jail term, but Judge Masipa was saying that suggestion was not appropriate for the athlete, for the amputee sprinter. Of course, we all know that Pistorius became the first athlete to compete in the Olympic and Paralympic Games. He killed his girlfriend, Miss River Steenkamp, on Valentine's Day last year. It says that he shot her by mistake, fearing there was an intruder in his house in the capital, Pretoria. Ms. Steenkamp, a 29-year-old model, a reality TV star and law graduate, was hit 3 times by bullets fired by Pistorius through a toilet door. It's a developing story, of course, a breaking news for all our viewers. It will keep tracking this for you as we get reactions from around the world on this judgment. Back to our discussion, which is on Central Bank of Nigeria's assets registry, a movable assets registry, one of the ways in which the Apex Bank decides to allow MSMEs access to funding without collateral, of course, through other means, though. The 220 billion naira MSME funds that have been released by the government of the country is already been rolled out, and some state governments, we understand, are beginning to access it. And Muyiwa Olanwaju, the CEO at Watershed Capital, is still with me here in the studio. Thank you, Muyiwa, for still being a part of the show. I was just talking about some state governments are beginning to access the 220 billion MSME fund, and of course we're told that that will be done without issues. What's your take about this?
Well, it's good that the state government have started accessing this fund. And you will know that there are various state governments have a kind of microfinance schemes for their people, right? So now, to assess this, I think they have provided a kind of security. They are trying to provide a kind of security because what it means is that the state government will be held liable.
So they have to serve as guarantors.
Guarantors for the small businesses within their domain. So I think a welcome development is what other states also should do, because since we know that this category of business owners, they are incapacitated because they do not have the kind of collateral commercial banks are looking for, and the central bank has established intervention fund to assist them. So if the state government can come up to serve as guarantor to allow them to access this fund to boost their businesses, the state economy will be grown, will be bolstered, and everybody will be happy for it. I think it's a welcome development, and it's something that other states also should.
Are there risks attached to this move by the state government? I thought that each business owner will stand for him or herself.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you bring in your collateral or whatever it is you're asked to bring as collateral now, you're made to account for it. So what risks do you think that the state government would face?
I think we should understand that for the state government to disburse such fund to the business owners, of course there are some requirements they must meet. The only thing is that you have shortened the process. Now, so instead of individual business owner going to the source of fund directly, bring this, bring that, the state government ordinarily is expected to put in a structure that will allow them provide the kind of business advisory services to these small business owners. Okay, these are the kind of things you need. These are the kind of things you must provide. So now at that level, they have guided them. They have streamlined the requirement, and they have ensured that the business owners in those states, in those areas, they have met the minimum requirement. Well, of course, in line with the requirement of the fund owner, which is the central bank in this case. Okay? So the state government will ensure that these requirements are met, and anybody who meets the requirement within their state will now be allowed to access the fund. So, in terms of risk, the state government is sharing the risk. The only concern is the political interest. If this will not be used as a tool for political campaign, and people that are interested in particular political party are the only one assessing it, and this is where compromise will come in. So, even if the state government says this is what we are going to do, I think what the central bank needs to do is to ensure that structure are put in place, systems are put in place that even if this government, if this present administration is no more in power, at least the system is self-sustained. It can still ensure that things are done properly and businesses are enhanced and things move the way they want to.
I wanted to ask you if the requirements for each state may differ.
Well, it may differ, but the truth is that there will be basic requirements. There will be basic, because the truth is this, in administration of loan, there are basic requirements, because there must be collateral, and some of these things are the things that, whether it is state A or state B, those basic requirements will be there. So the additional requirement will now be determined by each state, which I do not think should be too strenuous for this business owner to meet.
All right, Muyiwa Olariwaju, that'll be all we can take from you. Thank you so much for coming on Business Morning.
Thank you.
Muyiwa Olariwaju, the CEO at Watershed Capital, and is also a financial markets analyst. So we've been talking about the Central Bank of Nigeria's movable assets registry, one of the ways in which it wants to allow MSMEs have access to funding without the use of collaterals, using more like a special vehicle for that purpose. And that'll be all we'll bring your way on Business Morning. Don't forget, the breaking story is that a South African Judge Thokozile Masipa, has ruled that Oscar Pistorius will spend the next 5 years in jail. She said the suggestions of sentences made by defense witnesses are not appropriate. Of course, we've heard the defense saying that Oscar should spend 10 years in jail. Instead, she decided to hand down a 5-year jail sentence for the Paralympic athlete. Thank you for watching Business Morning. Bolaji Akinwale.